Hey guys, I'm coming to you with a quick video today about making a brooder for quail chicks. So this is the setup that we use for a lot of our chicks that we are raising from hatchlings, and it's super easy to make. It's a secure brooder if you have inside pets, which is also nice, and all the supplies you can get from either local stores or I do order things on Amazon. Before the video officially starts, I will post a picture that has all the supplies that you'll need. So if you screenshot that with your phone, that'll be an easy place that you can refer back to when you're going shopping for supplies. So let's get started.
Here is my very simple tote bin style quail chick brooder. Now all the chicks are hiding under the heat plate right now because I just cleaned it. So I had to take them out and they got a little chilled. So they're all under there warming up. So this tote bin is just something that I found at Walmart. I try to always get the biggest one I can get my hands on. I'm not sure how big this one is, but I currently have 17 quail chicks in here and it's plenty of room for them. Now the way that I start, move that light there, is that I take this tote bin lid and I just take a knife and cut a square out because you want to make sure you have lots of ventilation. Some people will drill some holes in the sides of their tub for more ventilation. I don't. I've never had that cause an issue. This has always been plenty of air circulation. And then how I create this is that I clip the wire, this is 1/4 inch hardware cloth, and then I clip it to fit, and then I use a simple drill bit, drill some holes, and then I zip tie the wire onto here. And then this duct tape, because we have kids, I just did that to kind of like cover the sharp edges. If you don't have kids or aren't worried about it, that's just an extra step that no need to worry about. And the nice thing about this lid is that it makes your little brooder tub pet proof. So if you have like inside cats or dogs, this is extremely helpful to keep them out so they can't be snacking on your chicks. And then here's the inside setup. So what I have is a brooder heat plate. This I believe is a 10 by 10 plate. They make them different sizes, so just take in consideration how big your tote bin is, and how big the brooder plate is that you can fit into your tote bin. So the way that this works is it acts as a mommy hen, and they will run underneath this heat plate. I'll lift it up a little bit and see all the chicks under there. See how they're rubbing their backs on that metal plate? That part is super warm. Now it's not hot enough to like burn you, but they rub up against it and it simulates them going under a mommy hen to warm up. And then when they're all warm, they come out and run around and eat and drink and do all that good stuff. And another thing about the heat plate is just make sure that you do have it set low enough that they can touch their backs on it. So these legs here are adjustable. You can see this little notch here that you push in to raise the legs up and down. As the chicks grow bigger, you can raise up the height of the heat plate so that they can still get under it as they get taller. The last thing about the heat plate is that they do work best if your ambient room temperature is at least 60 degrees. So I do keep a little thermometer in there, so their tub is naturally 70 degrees here. If you're going to be having your chicks somewhere that's a lot cooler, like a garage, if it's not summer and it's cooler outside, the heat plate like this may not be sufficient enough. You may have to consider a heat lamp. If it's too cold to brood outside with a heat plate, I just choose to bring them inside because Heat lamps scare me a little bit with the potential of a house fire. So I definitely do not use any heat lamps in our home, garage, or barn. Okay, so moving on. So what I have down for their bedding here is actually a roll of Blue Shop paper towels. You can get these at any like farm store, hardware store, even a lot of grocery store sells them. Now those will give them traction as they're still like a little bit wobbly and learning how to walk. They're not as slippery as like a plain white kitchen paper towel. But they help them, as you can see, they'll pick the food off the ground. It really does help them learn what's food, and it keeps them from like slipping and sliding around in pine shavings. So I will do the blue paper towel for 1 week. Once they are a week old, I will switch them over to the normal pine shaving bedding that you can find at your local farm store. Okay, so the water jug. This base here is just a standard chick water jug. Now the difference would be this part down here. Actually, so here's the jug. Your base down here is what's going to be different. This is actually a specific Quail size watering base. If you are in like the chicken section, they have a wider base. You can still use the wider base. Just make sure that you put some marbles or something in the bottom of that wider base, because it's probably more of like this wide. That way they don't get in there and drowned. Quail chicks are very good at drowning, giving the opportunity. As you can see, that guy just stuck his foot in the water. So look on, I think Amazon, it's Little Giant brand, I believe. You can find these little Quail water bases. And they work much better. No need to worry then about accidental drownings. And then for the food, this is actually just the bottom base to a chick feeder. I have the top part here, so this would go on there, which works really good after they're a week old. I find if I try to put it on from the start, they're just not quite tall enough to get over this piece to get in to the hole to peck at their food. So I like to just use the bottom of the base for first week. And for food for them, for quail chicks, ideally you want a chick feed or a starter grower feed that's 22 to 30% protein. We personally use Kalmbach Meatbird starter grower, which is a 22% protein. They have it in regular, and they also have a non-GMO version. So that's the basics of the brooder tub. So I'm going to put the lid back on here. Super easy. I can even lock it. We don't have any other inside pets. They're all outside, but if you had cats or such, you definitely would want to lock that. And then it's best to keep a light on for them 24/7 while they're little, so that way they don't get lost and can find their way back under the heat plate at night. You could just keep a room light on for them. I try to save on electricity a little bit, so I have this LED strip light, and I will just put that on top there, and then that keeps it lit up for them all night long. And I really like these clear tubs too, because if you have kids, you could actually set this up on a table, and then they could just sit on chairs and watch the baby chicks all day. So I know a lot of people get baby chicks in the springtime, but you know, when you're cooped up inside all winter, especially if you're somewhere where you get a lot of snow and cold, it's kind of a fun winter project to just watch them grow. I mean, you wouldn't want a ton of them because you don't want them to like stink up your house, but if you had like 6 chicks, you know, just for fun to grow up, they really don't take up a lot of space, and they don't make much smell when there's just that few of them. So that is all. Super simple. It doesn't have to be hard. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in a comment and I will answer them.